Welcome back to the Regular Folk Show, everybody. Episode 3 here. It is a fine day here in May. I have Ariel Davies with me.
What's up, guys?
Welcome to the program. We're going to have a nice conversation today. Got a couple different things to touch upon. Regular Folk Show updates will be on Twitter. I'm going to try to be using that a little bit more. Try to get the social media push going, as they say. Or as I say, should I say. And then potentially an Instagram page, because that seems to be where the people are these days, right? Instagram kind of took the hump. Do you have social media?
Yes, I do.
You do.
Follow me on Instagram.
A little plug. You can do a little plug.
No, I don't care about that.
You don't care about that. Okay,
no.
He's a humble guy.
Yeah, I definitely went through the phase of caring about Instagram, of like getting my followers up, but it doesn't matter.
No, I mean, it's,
it matters.
Advertising.
Yes, advertising.
Revenue.
We have social influencers now.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
People cultivating culture, or they think they are. I mean, how much are they actually doing? Maybe, maybe not as much as they think. Maybe it's just a lot. I mean, if you're under the assumption that these likes, then these it doesn't matter that much, then these influencers don't matter that much, right? Because the whole currency is based on.
Well, they still get sponsors. They still get.
So I think it is worth something. I think that is
right.
I mean,
it is, and I think it's only going to become worth more.
Spread your art out to more people, right?
Not even art. There's
spread whatever. I mean,
spread whatever.
Right. No, I mean I agree. I don't think it's strictly. I used to make the case that Instagram devalued art actually, because even though you have individual people with maybe very unique art pieces. I shouldn't say very unique. It's just unique or not unique, but with unique art pieces, spreading their stuff. But then, it was the philosophy of let me spread it everywhere, as opposed to maybe let me just show somebody next to me, or show somebody in real life, as opposed to just this constant inundation with tons of pictures and paintings and sculptures and what have you, and it's just so overwhelming for people that it just becomes blasé,
and just entertaining.
And then it's just
videos.
that, right, and then there's everything else.
Do you know Boom Gang?
I don't know.
He does videos. He did videos.
No longer.
He doesn't really do it that much. But he would do videos where he would go into a store and just steal something, like make it a big deal, like go into like a 7-Eleven or like theft.
How is this guy?
Because he had like a routine when he would steal things.
What would he do?
He would, he'd be holding the camera recording himself.
Yeah.
And he'd be holding the item.
Okay.
And he would say, oh, so this item is like $300?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy, or whoever it is like, yeah, that's how much it is. And he's like thinking about it for a second, and then he just runs off, yelling and shit, and he became an internet sensation from this. He became really big.
What's this guy's name?
Boom Gang.
Boom Gang?
Boom.
Can you spell this for me?
Boonk.
Okay.
Gang.
Boom Gang.
Yes.
Boom Gang.
Yes, you should look him up. He went into a church in one of his videos and was just like yelling and stuff.
This guy's on Instagram?
Yeah, he was posting it all on Instagram. Yeah, and it's all on YouTube. But he kind of faded from doing that, and he was making he made some rap songs. They were really bad.
Not good.
Yeah, but if you look where he came from the street, and yeah, he did like a pretty bad thing. But he found a way to come out from where he was to make money.
So tying this back then to the Instagram essentially is, it seems like we've made more of a case for good than for bad. Even with
there's
all the
a
bad,
lot of good.
A lot of good.
There's a lot of good.
Bringing people up. People get exposed to things that they wouldn't have otherwise.
There's a lot of good, but I think
efficiency, connection. You think it's
moderation.
Of course.
Like anything.
Always preach moderation.
Like anything.
Got to do everything with moderation, including moderation. You got to be able to have the extremes, the highs and the lows.
How do you moderate moderation?
You moderate moderation by sometimes not acting so moderately and being a little, know when to spend a little on yourself. Okay. Know when to, go on the diet for a little longer than you thought you needed, or, pick up a routine. I'm gonna call you fat.
Sounds like it.
No, that's funny. That's also funny that whole I guess it's kind of a meme of like oh, you look fat and that. I don't think I've ever actually heard anybody say that, or like almost never. I mean, maybe it depends on the person.
Usually as a joke.
Yeah,
I'll tell you right now, I've definitely thought of it.
Yeah, you're like you.
No, not me.
Guys,
I need to lose like 20 pounds.
Yeah,
okay?
I mean, clearly.
Yeah, I've been on Weight Watchers.
I can tell.
But I mean, I think it comes from truth. I think it comes from, people being self-conscious about how they look weight-wise, and they ask someone, right. they just want that moral support.
No. You get a little voice waiver?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, that's the best way you could lie about that. Oh,
it's so easy to tell when people are lying, though.
Usually.
Yeah, unless they're, like, pathological. But, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That does happen.
Yeah, it does happen. Yeah. I mean, I've definitely... the lies I hate the most?
What?
Is when someone lies about something that... Okay, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
So I was...
Don't dox anybody here,
I'm not going... No names.
Yeah. John Doe, baby. John Doe.
Average Joe. So there was this guy I was working with on a project, and multiple times we were supposed to meet up to go over the project.
Sure.
But every day of the project...
Yeah.
He hits me up that, hey, I'm swamped with work. I can't do it. And it's like, by the second or third time, it's a lot. Like, there's no doubt.
Yes.
But they still say it with such certainty that it's ridiculous. Because you could either call them out on it.
Right.
Or you could just be like, okay. But either way, it's...
Well, what did you do? What was your response?
Stop talking to a person.
What'd you do when you...
I worked on the project. I did it myself.
Solo. You turned it in solo.
Yeah. And then...
Did you mention something to the teacher?
We have peer evaluation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tore him apart.
Yeah.
Tore him a new one.
Well, yeah.
I mean that's fair. That's fair.
I've definitely been the other guy, too. I've definitely been the guy not pulling my weight, too. Right. I'll be honest.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah. Like, I know what it feels like on both sides of that.
Yeah.
And they're both shitty. When you don't do the work, you feel shitty. You feel like
you do.
I'm not contributing.
Well, hopefully you do. I mean, otherwise you're too far gone at that point. You might be a psychopath.
Yeah. Well, a psychopath. Or if it's like a school assignment.
Maybe a minor psychopath.
Yeah. Just like someone who lacks.
Yeah. Or just
empathy.
Or they're just not clued into what we sort of associate with normal behavior.
Right.
Feeling guilty about not following through,
right.
Not keeping to your...
I hate it when someone does not follow through. I hate it. And, of course, like, all of us, we don't follow through all the time,
Certainly, yeah.
But I feel like, that's why I'm always very hesitant when I agree to something to give a specific day or whatever, because when I give that day, I'm basically saying, this is my word. Like, this is when I want this to happen.
Right. Well, that's how it used to be, You used to make those kinds of plans. There wasn't as fast communication back and forth. And, like, if you made plans with someone and they didn't show up, like, thought they were dead. Or, like,
Yeah.
Or maybe something, like, terrible happened. Like, you had no idea. Like, people were on time. People were at their places. People got around with maps. Like, you show a person a map.
It's crazy.
You have no idea where they are.
I was recently...
No idea where they are.
I was recently in Cuba, and we had no access to our phones.
Right.
Essentially no access
Very
because,
little,
the Wi-Fi is horrible. And I basically didn't use my phone for the whole time, other than Google Translate, which I downloaded.
Very smart.
But getting to places, it was... everything you're doing...
Takes a little longer.
The phone gives you the opportunity of feeling the comfort of knowing what's going to happen in your future.
Right.
And when you don't have that, it's just... You're living in the moment a lot more.
A lot, yeah. You're much more tuned in,
It's nice.
Things aren't mediated. Not everything is as, I guess, reliant on, scheduling and other things. It's just like, well... You're also on vacation too, so it's...
I'm on vacation too, yeah. It's nice, but in the bigger picture, it's not. You don't want that all the time.
No, of course not. You gotta be able to put your foot on the gas a little bit too.
Yeah.
You don't want to be doing 20 on the highway.
Right. You want to know where you're going. You want to know restaurants that you could just go to in the area.
Right.
It's convenience. That's what it comes down to.
A lot of convenience. Something I brought up with Jake. Jake Ditkoff, your roommate. Yeah, we didn't do much of an intro with Ariel, but we can circle back to that. Yeah, Ariel's Jake Ditkoff's roommate.
That is my claim to fame.
His claim to fame, Jake the Cake. He was on the first episode. Yeah. Where was I going with this?
I don't know.
I mentioned you were talking about Cuba, right? But you went with Jake.
I did.
I was gonna say
and two other friends.
Two other friends.
Yes.
And you guys had no cell phones. Very limited.
Yeah.
Very limited.
Yeah.
Boy, I really don't know where I was going with this. I had something. Well, we was going to talk about like your background. Circling back to your background, like Rutgers student, senior year, graduating.
I bought my
cap and gown.
Cap and gown today.
It's right off camera.
$86. 86. That is crazy.
I know.
That's crazy.
It's a lot.
Because they know we're only using it for one day. Like, I'm never going to use it again.
Right. I mean, you can sell it to, someone graduating this year.
Right. But there's no way that fabric cost $86.
Oh, no.
No way.
It's like polyester.
That's
nylon, yeah.
It's complete robbery.
I know. It's really absurd. Excuse me. Yeah. A little burp there. Drinking some seltzer.
Is there a phrase to say when someone belches? God bless you doesn't apply.
I mean, I believe excuse me.
No, like me to you.
You could say excuse you. Although that always seems offensive.
Yeah, it does.
Which is odd. It's interesting that connotations are working out. Like excuse you, because just excuse you.
Excuse you.
Excuse you.
Okay, so then maybe it's how you say it. Yeah, excuse you. That's nice.
You see, excuse you's got a little,
Yeah, a little kick to it.
It's got a little, but also it's got a little. It's a softness. Ooh, just me.
Yeah.
It's a little meek.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse you.
I like it.
Excuse Deep.
That's
creepy.
Don't like as much.
Too much.
Yeah.
Too much. But you're a Rutgers student. I know you do some acting. What's your official major minor though?
My major is journalism and media studies.
Journalism, media studies.
And my minor is religion.
Minor is religion. So where does I know you do some acting. Where does the acting factor in?
In my studies at Rutgers or in general?
In general, but studies at Rutgers. I don't know. It was under the assumption you were taking some classes.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Rutgers, I don't know exactly how it works, but Rutgers offers some acting classes. So that's what I've been doing. Right. So it starts with basic acting, intermediate acting, advanced acting, performance ensemble. Mm-hmm. That's basically the order. And I'm in advanced acting is actually the last class. Performance ensembles before that, but I'm in advanced acting right now.
Very nice. How's it going?
It's going good.
It's good.
Yeah. We're working on our play right now. We're in rehearsal, but I've done other acting classes, improv classes. Planning on taking more acting classes in the summer too. Mm-hmm. 'Cause I mean that's what I really enjoy.
Right.
So
chase after it.
Yeah, that's where the acting classes are concerned. That's where
that's going.
That's where it's at. Yeah.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah,
very nice. You're graduating, right? Yeah,
I am.
Not staying.
As long as I pass all my classes, I'm graduating.
Same.
Yeah.
Although I mean that shouldn't be too much of a concern. Don't worry, Mom and Dad. We got it under control.
Yes.
Hopefully. No, it should be good. Maybe. No, I'll be fine.
You'll be good.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Probably.
Don't doubt it.
No, I'm just joking. Yeah, it's definitely big. It'll definitely be good. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, well, acting. It seems there's a lot of, I don't know, people seem kind of pejorative when they talk about it. It's like, oh, they'll never make it. Like, it's impossible. Like, such a small. Like, yes, it's a huge business, but like. So many people are trying. Like, there's always that about it, but that doesn't really seem like that actually reflects like what it's actually like. That's often people who don't act who kind of say that.
Yeah.
That's at least from my outsider perspective of the discourse. And I mean, there's a lot of things that are like that. It's just people like dismissing things and checking it off based on something someone else has said about it that sounds accurate or just confirms whatever they want to believe about it. I don't know. I feel like I find that to be the case a lot of the times. But you tell me now a little bit what would you say is maybe some distinctions between acting and the quote unquote, like real world, like going out auditions in LA versus, training, taking acting classes? Are there multiple paths? Like, what's the...
Yeah, well, so I would say people who don't really know much about acting and think it's something that's kind of like winning the lottery. Like, the chances are so slim.
Right.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people, like, look to a celebrity like Leonardo DiCaprio, Zac Efron, and they see where they're at, but they don't see the whole journey that got them to that point.
That's a good point. Very good point.
I think that there are career paths. There's many different career paths in the field of acting that you could take, and it depends what you want to pursue.
Right.
Theater, film, whatever you want to pursue. Improv. I mean, it's all under the umbrella of acting.
Sure.
But they're all different branches. So, my end goal is film and television. So there is a path for that. I mean, there are things that you have to do in order to put yourself in a place where you have those opportunities. So the basics are like having a headshot, building a resume. But building a resume is you have to have a headshot and you have to have a reel.
Right.
So to get a reel, you need
the experience. It's the classic
Catch-22.
Catch-22.
Exactly. So there is a bit of that problem, but once you get past that,
once someone takes a chance on you,
that's
what you need.
Yeah, but I don't think that's ridiculous.
No, it's not.
I think, first of all, you could always be building on your acting experience. There's always classes to take, and by taking classes, you make connections. Being an extra in a project, it doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of your career, but you can make connections and
it's experience. Time on set.
Experience and connections, I would say, are the most important things. Right. And with that opens doors of opportunity. I think that anyone who is dedicated to acting, who has a good mentality, meaning that they don't think it's going to be handed to them, and who is good at networking. And who's a good actor, obviously. That is very important. Yeah. But you have to understand that this is a business. Of course. You're marketing yourself. So with all those qualities, I think you could be successful.
The self-starter. It's just any of these sort of quote unquote creative paths. People don't. You got to learn on your own. Kind of like it's kind of. I mean. Connections, of course, are huge, and mentors and all of this, but it's a very self-taught kind of thing. Whereas other jobs, you get an interview, you come in, you go through a couple of rounds, they hire you, a salaried position. Like, this is a lot more just like, we're gonna see what happens. Like, we're gonna go to this open mic, like, every day.
I would say like a normal job, there's a manual of rules to follow. Right. With acting or comedy, there's no set. There's people who are experienced in the field and they have advice.
Right.
But that's all from their experiences and hard work that they created. These tips or advice on how to achieve their level.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we're all on our own journeys. Like, we're all gonna have our own experiences.
100%.
And I really do believe that if you're dedicated, and you truly love what you're doing, you will be successful in that.
I mean, that's definitely a great philosophy to preach. It's very optimistic.
It's the American dream.
It's the American dream right there. I mean, it seems kind of, George Carlin, we'll get to quotes soon, but I'll drop a George Carlin quote. He said, the only way you can, it's called the American dream because it only happens when you sleep. As if it's like completely unattainable. But that was when he was a little more bitter towards the end of his life.
It's a little bitter.
But no, what I was gonna say though, in response to your point, you mentioned talking about acting, and that philosophy of doing it yourself, the self-starter. It seems to be really big right now. I feel like content creation. I mean, we were talking about Instagram before being such a great place to disseminate the stuff, and create it too, but it just feels like content creation. I feel like I've heard the word content like so many times. Like, it's not just me. Like, content, hot content, good content, bad content. So much content.
It's not even a word anymore.
I mean, I've always used it a lot with my friend Ira, who I used to do the podcast with. 501.
Is that your area code?
It's the number of our buildings.
Okay.
But we did OH with a little exclamation point.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And we would really do like a back and forth. That was great. It was a lot of fun. I'll always remember him. Not the podcast, not Ira. Ira's still alive. He's doing okay. I'll send this to him. He'll be like, I'm dead.
I thought you were getting teary-eyed for a second.
Yeah, I'm about to break. Well, yeah, so I just like, do you think that, I feel like that's, why is that the case now more than ever? Why does it feel like everything is just like direct to the people? It's just from like one person right out to the audience. Like nobody needs anything else right now. Have we gone too far? Are we forgetting about some of the networks and the frameworks and the good of the system,
What system?
Sitcoms and,
Sitcoms.
Not just network TV, but, cable television and movies, like, the resources they have, the art, the FX, it's not just, two guys with a camcorder out on the street, right? Like,
yes.
You need a little polish, ain't bad. Somebody who knows the thing about editing audio. I mean, I'm hoping the quality on this is good, but, I'm no Picasso.
Yeah. Well, I think that they both have their benefits. I mean, it's kind of nice sometimes seeing someone create something from their bedroom that is funny.
Right.
Or engaging.
Right.
And, I mean, usually those things are quick. They're just like 7 seconds, 10 seconds.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
Although that died.
That did die.
Right.
I don't know exactly why it died.
Right. Seemed to be very popular.
It was very popular.
It was bought by Facebook?
I think so.
I think they maybe wanted to absorb it so that the folks would be on Instagram. That'd be my idea.
But still, I mean...
TikTok. How do you feel about TikTok? What is TikTok? I'm not even on TikTok.
Yeah, I used it. I never made a video on it, but I downloaded it once.
Yeah.
It's like an app that you make like a quick video, like a GIF or something, and you have music on in the background.
Right. That's so big, right?
I can't believe how big that
tiny... Yeah. But not even just TikTok and TikTok. It sounds like some like professor dog. Well, have you heard of TikTok? No, but it just like the GIF and like the tiny video of just like something really crazy happening is so. It's like so big. Yeah. People love looking at that.
Well, because I think it's easy to look at. There's not much that you have to put in. Like if I'm gonna sit down and watch The Departed or something, I'm setting aside like a long, like at least I don't know how long it is. It's like 2 hours or something.
That's like 2.5. Great movie, great
movie.
I haven't seen that.
Love the movie, but I'm saying you have to set aside that time. Right. Whereas you could just be on the train. Exactly.
But you see that now. Most people can't sit down for The Departed. Like, they have to have their phone there, just like checking it. It's giving everyone ADD. And it's more time than actually watching The Departed. You're probably watching The Departed 3-4 times equivalent of you constantly looking at your phone. Notification, back to the site, close it, swipe.
Yeah.
You could do a video where you like, you cut each one, like, swipe, click, clear. Message.
A TikTok video?
Oh, a TikTok video. A little tie back. A little callback.
Yeah.
That's all my time, folks. Callback over here. That's rich. No, content creation. Yeah, it seems crazy now. It seems like everyone's putting out their own stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think that's good. I think that's awesome.
Right. I mean, I'm a fan.
I think in a way, a lot of people who may not have put out content before. In previous generations are able to do it, and there's so much content, like that Chocolate Rain guy.
Chocolate Rain.
Yeah, like that was
like the original YouTube video.
That was a big thing.
So good.
That was a big thing, and
so good.
Do you think if that happened in I don't know the 19 whatever, he would have got to that level of fame in America from his performance?
Right.
Like the internet.
Well, probably no, because he was African American. But
well, yes.
Yes. A little bad time in America.
Yes, it was, but there were many famous
black
artists at that time.
Of course.
Yeah, but I mean,
Chocolate Rain.
The point I'm making
sorry to cut you off.
Is that he was able to get so much fame now because of the internet. Because we all have access to it. back then he may have been performing at some local
bar, right?
Yeah.
And the 6 people in the audience would have heard.
Or 7.
Or 8. Right. No, you're 100% true. And videos back then went viral in a different way too. Now some videos still get those kinds of like numbers or attention, but like that video was like polar, like so much so that like you remember when South Park, I was gonna say Star Wars, South Park skewered like those little videos, and they had the chocolate rain guy, and they had like the chipmunk that went, you know that. No, you don't.
I'm not a big South Park.
Not a big South Park. Okay, well they had a great episode about it. But regardless, I was just gonna say like they had such cultural, like, I'm not gonna say impact, but because I don't know how much, you know, I don't think Chocolate Rain necessarily changed things, or maybe it did in ways that I haven't thought about.
Cultural reference.
Right, he's a reference. He's something, a touchstone that everybody kind of knew, right?
Yeah.
It was like, oh, the Chocolate Rain.
Yeah.
Chocolate Rain.
I mean, he's big on Twitter.
Does he tweet?
Yes.
He tweets?
Yes.
He tweets. How big is he on Twitter?
I don't know how big, but he's big. I don't tweet.
You don't tweet?
I've just read some of his tweets.
I'm trying to do a Twitter with the podcast, but I don't know. I mean, I should just be tweeting more, but I don't know if it really should be like a personal account plus the podcast account, or just the podcast account. And if it's just the podcast account, do I post anything that's not just like, hey, new guest,
right?
clip
How do
coming
you keep
out?
it?
Like, what do I? Yeah. Otherwise, it's just people are gonna be like, oh, it's just like information.
Exactly.
Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that in the feed.
Well, you could do clips, stuff like that.
I could. But it seems like I should just probably make another Instagram page.
Twitter page.
No, make another Instagram. Like focus an Instagram for the podcast, because I'm doing the bite-sized comedy things. Like I just haven't
got a lot going.
Yeah, but it's probably easier if I don't try to cross-platform. I mean, I think the cross-platform idea is cool, but I could also just make an Instagram in addition.
Do you have a personal Twitter?
No.
Okay.
I was never big on the Twitter. I mean, I've had it at different times. I had to have it for a class last semester, actually. It was like his way of doing the forum. It was idiotic. It was terrible. It was a grad student. I could have taught this English class. But no, that was not ideal. But... no, I've had it on and off. I had it originally when it was like in middle school, like when it was just starting up. And, like,
great times.
Yeah, like it just started up.
Yeah.
I remember, and people in
people were posting back then literally what they were doing.
Yeah.
I'm going on a walk now.
yeah, it's true, dude. People posted such random things. Yeah. Just whatever was on their mind.
Yeah. My dad, he had a Twitter.
Back then?
Yeah,
all the way back then?
And
I was old funny tweets?
Yeah, I went on his Twitter and like he has a photo like of the fish tank in my house. He's like, just clean the fish tank.
Bravo, sir. Bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Or like, I just walked the dogs. Like, it's so funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. Like, who's gonna look at that information and be like, all right.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
I'm coming over to look at the fish now. You know, I wasn't gonna otherwise, but...
Yeah, it's silly.
Yeah. No, that's funny. Clean those fish tanks. Okay, we're about 28 minutes in here. 28 minutes and 39 seconds. So we're gonna go to quotes. Quotes is a section I do on each episode of the podcast. And basically I have 2 quotes for you. One maybe a little more lighter than the other. Okay. Not that any are like too heavy yet. Although we've talked about some deep stuff, which is kind of the point. And I have you guess after I say the quote who you think it is, and then I tell you the quote.
Okay.
I mean, no, and then we talk about the quote. I'll tell you the quote.
Okay.
I won't make you. I used to make people guess before telling the quote, but that's just absurd because I have no grounds on which to guess.
There's nothing to reference.
Yeah. So people said some funny stuff, but you know.
Yeah.
Just, okay. First quote. Clothes are the music of the body, and you hear them with your eyes. So open your ears. Who do you think said that?
I really like that quote.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Yeah. Alexander Wayne.
I don't know Alexander Wayne, but no, it is John Baptiste. Colbert's, I'm not gonna say sidekick, but he's also the band leader on the Colbert.
Really?
On the Late Show.
Okay.
He's the guy who plays the piano.
That's a great quote.
Yeah, great quote. Clothes are the music of the body, and you hear them with your eyes. So open your ears. Because he does the cross reference of sound and color.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Alabama Shakes. What is that band called? No, not Harlem Shake. No, yeah, I think it's called they're called the Alabama.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, they have an album called Sound and Color.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually good. Yeah, he does that. I love that. I've always liked that one. It stuck out to me when he said it. It was just in like a little extra video that he put up on YouTube only. Like, you know, all these shows now also have YouTube accounts. They're doing their own content, right? Yeah. They're pushing that too. So callback over here. Yeah. It was just like an extra. And he was saying something, or he was like joking around about the piano, and he just said that, and he kept going. I was just like, wait, hold on. I like paused. I went back. I was like, I didn't get it at first. I was like, what? Like, I don't know. And you, so open your ears. I was like, what? But it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. It totally makes sense. Beautiful quote.
I think it's a great quote.
Yeah.
I
you like it. You like it.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Anything in particular about it?
I mean, to me that means the way you dress represents how everyone kind of takes you in or perceives you.
Hears you.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, but
yes, I agree.
Yeah, I think it's very powerful.
Definitely.
Because I think it's very true.
Sure,
and
certainly.
It's a very eloquent way of putting it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Dude, this couch, something about it.
Hey, it's a sofa. Well, no, it's a futon.
It's a futon. Foo.
What are the parameters that make something a futon?
I mean, there definitely are a set of sort of guidelines, I'd say. I believe futons.
Yes.
Foo. That's a fun word to say. We should get a representative from Bed Bath & Beyond on here, but
yes, we should.
I think futons fold out into a bed, right? So I think that's
yes, they do.
So this folds out into a bed.
That is correct.
And they're usually smaller, sort of love seat style, but even a little even smaller than a love seat.
A lot of love on these seats.
I'm regretting sitting now, but
no, I was saying between us, a lot of love in the conversation.
I thought it was, I went. My mind went to a different place. My mind went to Stains. Yeah, okay, we'll back it up. No, you did a good job of flipping that, Megan.
No.
Yeah. No,
generally,
I know. Good though. It's been very cordial so far. I haven't had any guests on who I've fought with. Not that won't happen in the future. Who knows? Maybe I'll prick Ariel in a soft spot.
That could
bring up some dark history.
Be interesting.
He's got a lot of skeletons in his closet. This guy.
Really?
you don't even know about him.
I'm not aware of it.
I left him there.
Really?
Yeah, I was the one who killed. No, okay. Second quote.
That got dark.
This one's a little heavier. This quote's got some heft to it. Here we go. If you're aware enough to make a choice, you can choose to look differently.
Okay. Who said that? Donald Trump.
No, the Donald did not say that. That is David Foster Wallace.
Oh, so close.
Yeah.
Both starts with a D.
Both starts with a D.
Yes.
Yeah, that was from his This Is Water speech, the commencement. I think it was at Kenyon. Might not have been Kenyon. I'm not sure about that. But, yeah, his commencement speech. He said that. What is, you think that's true? I do believe in that. If you're aware enough to make a choice, like if you actually, because you're not always aware enough. Some people aren't aware enough to make a choice. I mean, it speaks about free will. It speaks about people's choices.
Yeah. Can you read the quote one more time?
I'll hit you with it again, baby. If you're aware enough to make a choice, you can choose to look differently.
Yes.
Right.
100% you can.
Right.
I think every day we make a choice of how to live our lives. And we could go whatever direction we choose. It's just constantly going in that direction. Like we spoke about acting, right? So I haven't been doing acting for my whole life. I've been doing it for the past couple of years. But at this point, I feel comfortable, a lot more comfortable than I was at the beginning. So it's like I've constantly made that choice to keep on going in that direction. And before that, was I an actor? No.
Right.
Anything you do,
right.
That's how it works.
I guess the part of the quote for me is the beginning, the if you're aware enough. Like, that's such a key part. Like, how aware are we on a given day of all the different choices that we're making and all the different options that are actually available that we might not see or hear.
Do you think that everything happens for a reason?
I don't think everything happens for a reason, but I think that I make choices every day, but that I am somewhat constrained in a certain sense. like, could I pick up and just, like, go to Singapore tomorrow? Technically, yes. Like, nah, not really. Like, finals about to start. Like, got graduation, requirement, like, I can't just leave, right? Like, how much, I mean, of course, that's a very extreme choice to make, but, like, and you could just rule that off to, like, common sense or something like that. Like, oh, why would you do that? But think about it on a more minor level, like something like today. I could, like, go into the city, right? Go back home, rest up a little bit, take a nap. It's like that is an option. And again, once again, you could rule that out to practicalities. But it's just at a certain point, you can't use that excuse of practicalities. It just becomes, well, that's maybe my routine, or this is just what I do, right?
Mm-hmm.
You pick up different things that make you feel as if, like, these are tangible parts of me, but we're all, I mean, you look at all of humankind, right? Like, kind of very blips of, like, history, right?
Yeah.
Very, very small part of, like, the cosmos, and
yes,
how much effect are we really having? I mean, at kind of different points here. I've kind of shifted from a free will into more of a outcome.
Right.
But oftentimes that's how we judge our actions and our ability to freely choose, based on what the outcomes are. So it's just, they are kind of, in some ways, connected. Perhaps a little more, the verbiage doesn't really all line up into some logical point, but it's hard to necessarily say what when we can look differently. Which choices we make, what do we do?
Well, I mean, there's different types of choices.
Of course.
There's, like, levels.
Well, of course. So
right.
How would you, what
one example is, like, working out. That's one type of choice that you can make in your life that initially, that's a big choice.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And then it becomes the point where it's just another part of you. Right? So, and then there's minor choices, like you're at Starbucks and you're trying to pick how many pumps of whatever you're going to get.
Well, there we go. Right.
So that's a minor choice that doesn't have much significance.
Right. But someday you could be like, oh, I want to go crazy. I want to get 10 pumps.
Right.
Right. But would you ever do that? You'd be like, no, way too much sugar. Like, okay,
ruin the drink. A lot of sugar. But I like the idea of being reckless sometimes.
Right, being a little spontaneous.
Yes.
Moderating the moderation, so to speak.
Yes.
Well, and also I think sometimes we justify, the fact that we do freely choose based on habits and routines that we pick up, say the gym, which I don't want to say that that is something that we freely decide, but when it becomes sort of second nature-y, as you said, and I think we all can testify to the fact that it's true. Both bad habits and good habits, we usually call it maybe a routine versus a habit. Habit usually feels kind of negative, right? It's like, I don't know. Some good habits, okay, but habits and routines. But it doesn't always feel like we have so much of a choice after it becomes sort of second nature. There's a different quote about it, which is incorporated into the quote section here. Is the chains of habit are too weak to be felt until they are too strong to be broken. Right?
So you got great quotes.
I got good quotes. I got good quotes here.
You should have a quote library. Just pull out index cards with a great quote on it. That's a really good quote.
Yeah, that's a good quote.
Who's that by? I'm not going to guess this time.
I think it's by Warren Buffett.
Okay. I've heard of him.
Yeah, you've heard of him. And then someone Munger, I think. I'm recalling from a Google Keep note that I have.
It's a joint quote?
I think they've maybe both said it, or maybe it's. I'm not exactly.
Okay.
Because I remember it saying Buffett and then / Munger or something. I don't know. Maybe it might be from a textbook or something. I'm not exactly.
Well, it's
sure.
a
great quote. Yeah. But what I would say is once that switch is made with the habit, where it goes from too weak to be felt to too strong to be broken. Can you yourself break it and be like, no, I'm going to not go to the gym today. I'm going to crush some donuts, baby. Would you ever really, once, you're like, oh, no. You think about all the concerts, I'm going to throw out all the years of gym and, it's just one day of donuts. But still, it's so anti the philosophy, and the philosophy you've been
You could definitely break it, though. I think that's the scariest thing when you think about human beings. The idea that we are, at the end of the day, so unpredictable. Like, we create these routines for ourselves, like a 9-to-5 job, as if this is what reality is. When in reality, that's not reality. That's we created this to have the comfort of organization. That's a big thing of religion. I mean, religion has its good points, but I'm saying that's a big part of religion, structure for your life. So you could break almost any habit you have. I mean, when it comes down to addictive habits that you depend on physically.
No, you certainly can. I would just the argument that not even the argument. The point that I was trying to make was that you can break them, but what does it take to break them? Is it your own choices to really freely break them, or is it something else that just comes along that kind of feels like the right thing to do, and you don't necessarily question, right? Like, are you aware of when you're breaking it that like you're really choosing to look differently, so to speak, to bring it back to the Wallace quote, or is it just like nah, like I'm not going to the gym today, like, and then you just have the cognitive dissonance of like, oh yeah, like I'm still a gym guy, but like I'm eating donuts today.
Well, I think that doesn't, like, you could eat donuts for a day,
right? No, nothing wrong with that.
Right, like I'm saying the bigger.
I'm not shaming donut people.
No, I love donuts.
Love donuts.
I'm saying in the bigger picture, that's just like, okay, well, I'm slacking today. I'm gonna make up for it. But if it's like, if it becomes like, okay, well, every day this week, that's what I'm doing. I'm not going to the gym anymore.
Right.
Then I mean, there's obviously a change in how you perceive working out, whether you're bored of your routine, or like this could apply to anything. You're bored of it, or you think you could get better in life by doing something else.
Right.
I mean, there's different ways of looking at it.
Sure. There are different ways of looking at it. I would say rarely would you see or assume that the person who's been going to the gym for a while, who stops because they want to have some donuts, is really and is really aware and thinking about the decision that they're making to eat the donuts. Like, I feel like it's just like, they're just like, they're not like, oh, today I have donuts. Like, nobody, I don't know people who, I mean, I was about to say, I don't know people who think like that. That's like the problem of other minds. Like, we don't know. We don't know.
I mean, I could definitely tell you.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're a big gym guy.
Yeah, but I could definitely tell you there's times where I'm tempted to eat something and then I don't eat it because it's bad for me.
Right.
And there's times the opposite, of course.
And that temptation you consider to be, by denying the temptation, you consider it a testament to your free will. To
my free will, to my belief. Like, it reinforces my belief that what I'm doing is good for me, because I'm showing myself that I'm gonna turn down this instant gratification for this long-term gratification that keeps on giving.
Right. But we could also flip it and look at it as like, oh, you're conditioning yourself to never want these types of foods, so you don't actually really have even choices here. And even though the temptation will still come along, it's just like, it's not even like real.
I'll tell you right now, I definitely.
So you're still in the. You see some donuts. Whoa, baby, let me.
Well, I'm saying, like, when I grew up, I don't know about you. Like, I have some friends whose parents were very into health, and they wouldn't let them drink any soda.
No soda in my house.
Really?
Yeah, no soda in my house.
Yeah. So I mean, my parents, amazing people.
Bless them. Seriously, no. Good eating habits.
But I had like Coke and whatever, and like my mom was always like making healthy dishes as well.
Right.
But like I was like a little brat, so like when I wanted a fruit roll up.
Yeah,
I got some fruit roll-ups.
Yeah, I was a big candy guy.
Yeah,
huge candy.
But your parents didn't get it for you.
Ooh,
sometimes.
My dad. Your
dad?
Yeah, my dad would get candy. My mom would get some candy too, but definitely dad more.
But if you think about it,
they loved giving me candy. They gave me a lot of stuff because I was the youngest.
You were a good boy.
Well, I was a good boy, but I was the youngest, of three. So you always give the baby a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know. I was the oldest.
You're the oldest.
Yeah.
The oldest of three.
Oldest of two.
I had to think about it there.
Well, I have a half brother.
Right. Yeah. Hard to quantify.
Public disclosure.
Yeah.
Yes.
We just doxed them.
Yeah. Well, no names.
No names.
No. But the point is, I feel like in a way I was conditioned to eat those things. Not only those things, but I feel like it's in me to crave those things because from a young age I was eating those things.
Right.
If you grow up never touching that junk, you know, you're a lot less susceptible to just turning 25 and eating some junk food and becoming addicted to
being
it.
like, oh, let's go to the candy store.
Right. It's not in you to crave it.
It's not even in the frame of reference. Yeah. It's a good quote. Okay. We're at 45 minutes, but we'll wrap up here with just a little talking about the summer coming up. Mm-hmm. And we're back.
We are back.
A little brief hiatus. Had to check a phone.
Emergency break.
No problem. We started a little late on this one, but quotes was great. Very, very good quote section.
Yes.
Thank you for being a participant in that. Hopefully the quote section continues to be a long-standing tradition in the regular
folk show.
Yeah, I think it's good. I gotta keep finding more good quotes because I don't want to deplete the library. And, I'm not gonna reuse them, so I'm not. Well, I mean, I could potentially reuse, but down the line. But we're talking about the summer coming up, seasonal change. You know, what are you doing? Plans lined up for the summer, graduation. So classic question: what are you doing next? You know, everyone's asking them. Everyone's asking it.
So I'm graduating.
Woo!
Yeah, and working some menial manual labor jobs.
Yeah.
Taking some acting classes.
Nice. Going
on more auditions. Mm-hmm. And I have this own little business venture I'm doing with Jake.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if we need to discuss that because we'll see how it goes.
It's not shady.
No, it's not shady at all.
Board.
The only reason I don't really want to discuss it is because I want it to be successful before I talk about it, you know?
You don't want to be in debt with it, right?
Exactly. In debt or just I'm saying, hey, I'm doing this and it's nothing. Right, so.
It's an interesting venture. Interesting venture.
Yeah. But anyways, that's mainly what I'm doing this summer.
Very nice.
I'm trying to, organize my life to the point where my end goal is to move to the West Coast.
LA.
Yes.
That's where the acting is going on.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of acting in the city.
Sure.
But yes. Yeah, I mean, I like the weather there a lot.
Yeah.
I do like the people.
Yeah.
A lot of people say not nice things about the people in LA, but I really like the people there.
Yeah.
The culture, there's a lot.
When's the last time you were there?
A couple months ago.
Yeah.
I went
you and Jake went?
Yeah, we went a couple
2 years ago.
Spring breaks ago. Yeah, I've been there a good amount of time. Like 4, 5. And I mean, it's great. Always had a blast.
Always had a blast.
Well, yeah. I mean, what's not to like about LA?
Well, a lot of driving, a lot of cars.
Yes, okay, that's true. The traffic is horrible. The roads are just so wide. Waiting at a light is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I realized when I was there last time, I was walking on the street.
Yeah.
Those streets are so long. Like around here, there's corner stores everywhere.
Yeah, no.
No.
It's just a vacant wasteland.
Yeah.
You gotta be in your car. You go from one spot to the next.
Right.
One spot to the next.
It's a desert.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we built in the desert.
Yeah.
Crazy. I've never been to LA. I'd love to go.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
I know you went to California.
Yeah, I spent some time in San Francisco. I spent some time in Chico. Shout out.
Nice. Did you enjoy San Fran?
I did enjoy San Fran. Yeah, it was beautiful there.
Nice.
Enjoyed Chico, and so I like California a lot. It's a great state. Absolutely gorgeous. Very nice people. Folks are folks. Regular folks all over regular folks all over the place. No, but it was a great time. I really enjoyed my time there, and I'm looking forward to the summer. I mean, I always like the summer. Seasonal change, I think, is good, which is part of maybe my hesitancy with living somewhere where it's always warm. Because I do think that there is something to the grit of the cold.
I hear that.
It gets colder, and it's like people say, "Oh, you're just staying in," which is like, I don't know. It feels like it's also the city. New York's obviously a very different city than LA, but just as a whole, there just seems to be there's more of a, people walk faster. They're going from one thing to the other.
I would say, though,
getting a little more lazy,
there is still seasonal change. It's just not as severe.
Not as severe.
So, I mean, there's definitely be days where you're not going to go outside in LA, you know?
Too hot.
Too cold, too.
Too cold. No.
I mean, it gets down to, 30s, 40s.
That's not too cold, dude.
I do not like 30 degrees.
Oh,
I don't know about you, but I don't like 30
I like it cold. Cold, you can always put on another layer. Hot, You can only take off so much.
Okay, that's fair.
You're just roasting, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
You're just barbecued.
That is
the
a
sun
problem.
is just bearing down on you.
Yeah.
And bitter cold is bad, but it's throw on another minute,
Alright, valid point. Well, I'm more of a heat guy, so.
Right. I like the heat. I do like the heat, but I do like the cold a lot.
Yeah, the cold has its merits.
Yeah. Love the snow. The heat doesn't have. There's no special thing with nature for when it gets really hot. There's no sun snow.
Right. That'd be cool.
It would be very cool.
Yeah.
Well, what would that look like?
Hail, I imagine.
Hail? That doesn't sound good. I like snow, but I don't like hail. I don't think I'd like sun hail.
Little balls of fire raining down.
Okay. I think we'll leave it there. It's a very healthy 52 minutes for the regular folks show. We'll have clips up online, which you might be watching right now, and of course the full length one as well with the video and the audio. Potentially, as I've said before, audio only coming down the pike later on. But what?
Oh no.
No, audio only in addition. Put it up as like. But I just feel like that space is very crowded right now.
Yes,
I feel like the clips on YouTube is more of the way to go with it.
I like your lane.
Yeah, and people like to see the people too. I think it's good. Okay, Ariel, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Regular Folk Show. This is his room. Lovely room you have here. I love the Snoop Dogg and Tupac poster off camera, unfortunately. But
it is beautiful.
But we have some great stuff. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, guys.